me today as I change this into this and update our family's command center. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome back to my channel. Now this is our current command center and it works like a charm. It's very functional. It keeps us organized. I know what everyone's doing, where everyone has to be. It keeps me super organized, but just look at it. It's really cluttered. It's a mess. It's just not pretty. It's not eye-pleasing. I want to update it so that it keeps us organized, but at the same time, it looks really nice in my kitchen. The new school year is a great time for me to update it because I have all the new schedules and routines, and I usually update it anyway with the different schedules, but this I'm going to do a complete revamp. I also have some great tips for you so that you can set up a command center that actually works for you. Function in a command center is absolutely first priority. You can make it look good, but if it doesn't function, then it really has no purpose. You might as well just put up a poster or a picture or something. You want it to be functional for your family and your individual needs, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. I've got some great tips, hacks, and tricks for you so that you can make the best command center that functions the way you need it to. Of course, the first thing that I did was to take everything down. There's a lot of stuff on here. There's a lot of children's artwork, and I stuck a lot of it up with Mac Tack. There's a lot of Mac Tack on the wall, and you'll see that in some of the close-ups later on that I couldn't get it all off. I'm not really a DIYer. You'll see that in a minute. So Mac Tack is my friend. Nails in the wall are my friend. I don't really care as long as the end result looks good. Because on the other hand, DIYing is not my friend. It's not my strong point. There was a lot of Mac Tack that I actually couldn't get off the wall. I tried. I got all the big chunks off, but you'll see in some of the close-ups later, I'll point them out. But it really doesn't bother me because you have to be really close up to be able to see it. Next up, I scrubbed the wall. There's lots of fingerprints and smudges and pencil marks. It wasn't really that dirty, but when you have a clear wall, it's a great opportunity to get everything spick and span and shiny and new. My command center has 5 main parts to it, and I'll go into them in a little bit more detail in a minute, but I did have to buy a few items to make it look a little neater. So I bought this cute little rose gold frame. I wanted to have a rose gold and white theme. I got this little frame for the most important part of my entire command center. I'll talk about it more when I actually put it together, but I'm sure I use this more than the calendar itself. Next up is this clipboard. I always tend to end up having papers that sit on my counter and my husband will spill coffee on. You can see there's coffee spilt on some of these things. So I wanted a clipboard so I could hang them on the wall in my command center and be able to take the clipboard down. Most of these papers are action steps, things that I need to do, follow up on. So it's a really good idea to have them front and center. I'm a butterfly. If you've taken the CLUTTERBUG test, I'll link that below. I'm a butterfly. I need to see things because out of sight, out of mind, if I don't have them in front of my face, I'll forget and I won't actually do the things I need to do. I got these little frames for my schedule, my mama taxi, after school activities, driving people everywhere schedule. But again, we'll get to that in a bit. All those things I got on Amazon, but this I bought from the actual Lang calendar store. I always use a Lang calendar. I have for years and years, and I absolutely love them. This is my 2021 calendar, and I've never had a frame. Never had a frame. So this year I decided to get a frame and make it look nice so it fits my white and rose gold theme. Alright, so let's get started. First, I have this really nice bulletin board that my cousin made for me, except for the fact that it's black, it doesn't match. So I'm going to take the frame off and I'm going to spray paint it. There was a lot of junk on here. This needed to be cleared off a long time ago. There was a sort of game card from a grocery store that I go to that was dated November 2018. So yeah, it really needs to be cleared off. Overall, this project was pretty budget friendly. The most expensive thing was the frame from the Lang store. I'll link everything that I use, everything that I bought, or even the little rack if I can find that on Amazon. I will link that in the description below. I took the frame from the bulletin board outside and I spray painted it rose gold. Like I said, I'm not a DIYer. So when I came back after spray painting the first time, I realized that I hadn't actually sprayed the sides. I just sprayed the front. I don't know what I was thinking. I put a lot of spray paint on it, but like it dripped onto the sides. So then I had to repaint the sides. It was a mess. It looks as good as it's gonna get. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. And on my wall, honestly, it doesn't look that bad. So we're gonna leave it. It's fine. See, it doesn't really look that bad. It's okay. I'm okay with it. I told you I'm not a DIYer. This is probably the best I'm gonna be able to do. Next up, I had this little rack thing that's rose gold that it was in one of my cupboards. I wanted to use it, and I'm just going to put all these papers and things in something else because it's in a cupboard, you can't see it, so I want to keep that pretty little rose gold on my wall. Let's get on to the projects where I put together the schedules and my favorite part of my entire command center. So those little white frames ended up being too small, so I found a canvas that I had in my cupboard. There wasn't anything else really that I could use, and I just wanted to get started. I didn't want to go shopping for another frame. So this is, I think, 8 by 8. I'm not sure what size it is. I just took a piece of scrapbook paper, cut it down to size, and a piece of white card just a bit smaller than that, so I'd have the scrapbook paper frame. And then I marked off 6 days because I do the driving on 6 days and my husband takes Sunday. I have 5 children that are still at home that are in activities and they need to be driven around. You don't get a license here until you're 18 and none of them are 18 yet. I measured off 6 days and then wrote in after school the different things that they needed to do. One tip here, when you're writing on paper, test your pen on a piece of scrap paper and then erase it to make sure that it's not going to smudge. I've learned that the hard way. If you are enjoying this video so far, please give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Subscribing is free, and if you hit the notification bell, you won't miss any of my videos. Coming up in October, I have lots of great videos. 2 new fall videos, 1 a morning routine, and also my Christmas planner. So you don't want to miss those. Make sure you're subscribed and turn on that notification bell. Okay, let's just take a break for 2 seconds and talk about you. Let's brainstorm ways for you to have the perfect command center that functions the way you need it to function so you can keep your home running smoothly. If you want to grab a piece of paper and a pen, go right ahead. I'll wait here. You can hit pause and come back. Otherwise, let's jump right in. There are quite a few things that you need to think about. So maybe write down all the things that you have to keep track of in the run of a day or week, like mail, receipts, school papers, tax papers, forms, other action papers that you need to do and take care of, receipts for returns, schedules, anything like that that kind of comes into your home that needs to get taken care of. There are lots of different things that you can include on your command center for it to work for you. So first I want to ask you some questions, and then I'm going to give you some suggestions of things that you can put on yours. So question number 1, what loose papers do you have? Something you either need to act on or archive. Piles of papers that are either sitting on your counters, your table, in your entryway, in an inbox basket. What are things that just sort of tend to get piled up? It's not just an action that you can take right now. You need to wait on it just a little bit. That's what I'm using my rose gold rack for. Now, I'm not going to use it much in the future because a lot of the times it's outings for my kids. You know, they're going on a school outing for the day and maybe they need a snack or even a full lunch, or maybe they're going to the farm and they need boots. But those are things that I will need to know in a few days' time. But there's nothing I can do about it right at this moment. So what I'll do is I'll put a note on the calendar that I have this information paper, and then I'll put that paper kind of folded up in that rack in order of date. But it's empty right now because my kids aren't going anywhere except for school. Okay, on to question 2. What are you always losing or always looking for? The answer to this question will tell you what types of things you need to have in your command center to sort of corral all those things so they don't get lost. Question number 3, what do you need to see every day or on a weekly basis? So that could be your calendar, maybe your town's recycling schedule, things that you're going to check on a regular basis that will keep your home running smoothly. Maybe you need a place for the mail, or maybe you need a place to pin up schedules that change, or coupons or papers or notices, anything that you need to keep track of. And the last question is question number 4. Do you need to keep things out in the open? If you put something away, is it out of sight, out of mind? If so, then the more that you can put in sight, the better. So things that you can include in your command center could be various schedules. You can consolidate different family schedules together. You can consolidate your family's information. For example, you'll see in a minute I'm making a little chart and I'm consolidating 2 of my children so I can check just one place for both of those kids. Also, what are some key things you are constantly looking up? It could be phone numbers, it could be the garbage schedule, anything that you look up on a regular basis. So take some time, brainstorm what you need, then you can set up your own command center. Now what I suggest is to sort of mock one up. Don't go out and buy a whole bunch of new stuff just yet. Make a version of what you think will work, live with it for a while, and then adjust it as you go. If you realize that something's really working well for you, then you can invest in a frame or a basket or a clipboard or whatever you need. Okay, now we're back to making my schedule. It's just really simple. I wanted just a pretty version of my schedule. You can see I did a rough rough copy over there in the corner of the screen. So I added to this as all the schedules for my kids came in and just sort of consolidated everyone's schedule into one so that I could then make this pretty one that'll hang on my wall. And I have just hung paper on my wall before. It doesn't really get dirty. If I see that it's starting to get dirty, then I may laminate it later. A little bit of erasing. Then I'm going to add both the scrapbook paper and the schedule to the canvas. This is my favorite part. Okay, this tiny little frame. Why is it so important? This is something that I check every single morning on my way out the door, and it has been a lifesaver. Normally I'll have it memorized by the end of the year, but I'll still kind of check it anyway. Okay, so how does this work? What I do is I have each child's name, the days of the week, plus what extra bag or thing they need to take to school besides their school bag. That could be their swimming bag, that could be their gym bag, that could be your music, whatever they have extra that they need to bring. Here I've got both boys' school schedules in the corner. So I'm consolidating the information from both of these into this one little chart for the specific information that I need. I'm only looking for something that needs an extra bag. I don't need to know when they have math, for example, because they don't have an extra bag. It's just gym, music, and swimming. I kind of misjudged. I forgot that some of the paper would be underneath the frame, so I had to sort of change the lines from what I had put in pencil. I also ripped off the little stand off the back so that I could hang it on the wall. Back to the rose gold bulletin board frame. I put the bulletin board that my cousin made back in, and I didn't show this, but I just pushed those little metal tongy things on the side of the back of the frame around it. It's held up for quite a few years, and I love it. So thank you, Catherine, for making that for me. All right, now it's time to hang everything up. I put the calendar in the frame, hung it up on a nail. The schedule and the extra bag chart are hung up with those little velcro command strips. I'll put links to those in the description as well. And the clipboard is hung up on a command hook. It's a little bulky. If I can find something a little bit slimmer, I might change that out. I hung the little rose gold rack up with nails. I know it's really messy and gross, but I don't care. You can't see it from far away. I told you, I suck at DIY. Usually sometime in September, I will order the next year's calendar and I will hang it behind the current one. I also have a birthday calendar and a little calendar from our village. The problem with this is that when I go to look at the other one, everything usually just falls down. It's really frustrating. The nail will come out. It's just a big mess. So what I decided to do was to put a nail over on the other side of the wall, hang up the 2021 calendar over there, and put the other two little calendars with it behind it. This is also the spot where I put the children's school schedules. I can check their calendars. The best thing about having these over on the left side of the wall is that we always leave the kitchen door wide open, and when it's open it covers up anything that's on the left hand side of the wall, so you can't see any of the stuff. So having the calendar on the other nail works perfect, and having the current one in the frame, I'm so happy it's working so well. All right, let's have a look at the finished command center. So I have my bulletin board with a very messy paint job, calendar, my chart with what bag they need to take, a clipboard for action step papers, a rack for papers that I'm going to need up soon. Then I have my schedule for when I need to take my children places and when to pick them up. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Like I said, I've got great videos coming up for you in October, lots of fall and even a Christmas planner. No, it's not too early, especially this year, and I'll tell you all about that in that video. Hit that notification bell and you will know when it is up. You can click here on my little face to subscribe. Here are 2 more videos that I think you will like. Have a fantastic day and happy planning.